Well, Chris, welcome to the inaugural podcast. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
You're welcome, Chris. There's going to be a lot of Chris's. Agency, a little over a year?
Yeah, I think it was April 2024 we opened up.
Wow. So yeah, that's going strong. And obviously main focus is on, luxury homes.
It's been interesting. One of our objectives was to focus all of our marketing and our advertising and capture all of the benefits of that.
Right.
Because we carry a lot of listings, and we do obviously a lot of luxury home, transactions.
Yep.
And ironically, red signs stand out, so that worked out really well.
They do. As I'm biking around.
We're the only red sign in town, so kudos to the agency for picking a unique color.
No, it's good.
But
metro market, there'd be commercial brokers who do exclusively that, the CBREs of the world. But in Steamboat, it's a little different situation. So I guess just wanted to talk about, how that kind of fits into the model.
For years, obviously, we've worked together with commercial and residential. And,
yeah.
We identified that the one challenge with commercial is that it's really hard for somebody to just be totally focused on commercial and have enough business to, make a living. It's a very small percentage of the overall market.
Yeah, it's like 5 to 10%. I mean, if you look at sales volume, it's like 5%. Typically.
And ironically, I get a lot of questions from people about our commercial exposure. And, we're probably with yourself, the largest commercial guys in town. The whole idea was if we get a lot of inquiries from people that buy a condo or a house, and everybody's really sophisticated out there in the market that we
They are,
with,
yeah.
And they would love to buy an investment property here. It's nice to turn Steamboat into a place that you could actually call a business expense.
Right. Well, that was one thing I was going to ask you about. Is it seems like we've done some pretty heavy-duty outreach programs for some of our bigger properties where we hit family offices, real estate investment companies. And we've certainly gotten some calls on that. But it seems like end of the day, a lot of the people who actually want to invest here already have a connection. They've had a vacation home here or spent time here. I mean, do you find that to be the case?
We've been super lucky. We've gotten to run some like crazy campaigns. We've had clients that had big assets, and when you come from a different market like a Chicago or a New York or Florida, you feel like there's this institutional buyer out there because that's what happens in those markets. In Steamboat, it's hard for institutional money to really understand a purchase here. So a lot of times it ends up, you might have a big asset, but you got to break it up into pieces to sell it off.
Right.
And we've gone through a lot of those different experiences, and most of our buyers end up having a connection to Steamboat.
Right.
It's a really hard place for somebody to come from nowhere, come to Steamboat, bring their underwriting team, actually do an analysis and go like, hey, this sounds like a really good idea.
I see that. There have been some purchases recently. I can think of a couple of downtown where really people have a vision that, we do a ton of leasing. We kind of know what stuff goes for now, but I think people are peering optimistically into the future on some of the stuff that's happening down there. And I guess time will tell, but I would love it if they were right.
It's good to see. We kind of get caught in the weeds sometimes, so we don't see the bigger picture in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
But we've heard about some big name retailers that are trying to get a presence in the marketplace here. So that's going to be obviously pushing the envelope. We've already seen a massive transition in our retail market. To see us go to Lululemon, Lucchese Boots, SBNY, what else? Faraday.
Oh, right. Stio's here now, small store, but cool.
Here. And it started with the Mountain bringing, North Face and Marmot.
Right. Yeah. Which I think is the common in a lot of ski markets. Vail Resorts.
Yeah, that's a natural segue. Yeah. And then we've gone into like the more luxury Western market category. So, for as much of a small town podunk steamboat that we are, we're evolving, like it or not, to a different clientele.
Right.
And that's really driven. It's like residential and the retail go hand in hand.
Yeah. I remember we had Lulu as our pop-up tenant for a couple of years, and then they obviously expanded and made it permanent because it was proof for them that it worked, and that was an interesting time in the market. It certainly wasn't as strong as it is now. So, I do feel like retail's doing well, and there's not a ton of new stuff coming on. I see some smaller 608 Yampa, the project on 10th Street. Those are going to have some smaller retail bays.
When you look at markets, it's really easy to say, hey, well, you look at a place like Boulder, and Boulder's bought everything around them, so now it's all open space, and it's like, well, we've got this finite market, so our residential market really doesn't get impacted by the normal fluctuations in the economy. Well, Steamboat's retail and commercial market is kind of the same. Like, no one is building commercial estate. Our rents, for as much as people think our rents are high, they do not support new development. So, you've kind of got this finite, amount of supply. And if you look back, and we've been in this, game for a long time now, and, we were in 07, 08, 09, we were working with developers who were saying, hey, we really need to tap into the buyers that are thinking about going to Aspen or Vail and these other places. The reality of that was those guys came here and they were like, what am I going to do here? You have no retail, your restaurants are marginal,
Right.
and whatever. They just kind of got bored and they left.
Right. That changed though.
And what's been the biggest transition, I think you've probably seen it, is in from 2010 to 2019, we had a marginal amount of residential development, but we had a massive revolution in our restaurant experience. Our dining, experience went off the charts. We transitioned from ski bums trying to stay in Steamboat and running a restaurant
Right.
to true restaurateurs. I mean, now we've got like Rex, Phil, Jeff LaRoche, and the guys from E3.
Right. Scott up at Truffle Pig.
Yeah, Scott at Truffle
great
Pig.
stuff. Yeah.
And we've got people, who are truly passionate about bringing great products to the market.
Yeah. I mean, look at where Yampa Street was 10 years ago to now. I mean, you can, I hate to say it, hardly find parking if you're trying to
But
get
I mean,
down
that's
there and get
something
a meal.
that's something that we were in the middle of. I mean,
Yeah.
that whole, and kudos to Kenny from our team when he was on city council and approving the, improvements on Yampa that got us sidewalks and got rid of, got us street lights, and they seem like everyday things you should always have. We didn't have them.
I think they formally tried to blight it. I don't think they ever
So,
pulled that
I mean-
off. But yeah, I mean, it's been a huge change. And it's interesting because obviously development swung downtown because the mountain going into '08, there was a lot of, demolition and taking away of product. And I think that's starting to turn the corner a little now. We've seen some deals with, some of the hotels coming in and new condos and obviously some mixed development happening up here. So we'll see how that goes. But
Obviously, my background's from the stock market, so I'm used to like instant gratification when I came to
Yeah.
Steamboat, and I've learned that real estate comes with a different timeline and clock on it. And if we watch the evolution of what's been happening, I think it's really important, as people kind of watch the evolution of the retail, the restaurant world, we don't really have any place to expand and add supply. So, as you get better quality tenants, better quality, experiences, and it ties hand in hand with our residential, because our residential price
right, it's
points.
driving all of that. Yeah.
I mean, it used to be $4 million was the most expensive house in the market.
We had an infinite supply.
And
almost.
we've got, we've got 10 to 15 properties that we're working on between 5 and 20 million. Like, that was unheard of.
Right. No, it's
And that
radically
clientele is
different,
looking
yeah.
for a different experience in their downtown than, say 20 years ago. So they kind of go hand in hand. You want to say the chicken and the egg and all that kind of good stuff, all those cliches. But, the reality of where we're headed, like it or not, we are evolving to an experience-based, economy that is more than just the ski mountain. The
Right.
downtown's an experience, the restaurants are an experience, the shopping's an experience. And, quite frankly, the overall, small town feel,
Right.
you tie all that together and it's a really unique offering.
I mean, obviously there are other segments. Development, there's a lot of dirt trading hands, and it takes a while to get through and get everything out. But we'll see sort of where that goes. And some a couple interesting projects happening for sure.
I mean, there's big sites to watch. Downtown. I mean, you got the corner of 12th and right by Little Toots, 12th and Yamba. That's looking to be an exciting project.
Yeah.
Wells Fargo is out there, and I mean, we're working on it, and we
Yes.
know things are coming. That's probably the best site in all of downtown.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I mean, bridge the alley. You got all that frontage on Oak. It's going to be
I mean,
nice.
you've got the corner by Meat and Seafood.
Yep, that's a
you
cool
know.
looking project. Just coming through planning and.
So I
think
mean,
they got
it's,
their approvals, yeah.
there's a lot of things. Look at what's happened in Riverview. Riverview is, it's always funny when you're selling raw land. Raw land is hard,
Yeah.
and we've worked on that for years. And then all of a sudden, boom, somebody puts a house up, and next thing you know,
Right.
it's the hottest spot in the market.
Yeah. No.
now
it's,
you're talking $2,000 a square foot.
Yeah.
608 Yampa.
Yeah.
We're under contract on 3 condos at $2,000 a square foot.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you would never put that into your spreadsheet, 10 years ago.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. Do we miss anything?
And we covered a lot of, covered a lot of interesting topics. And ironically, we've been like working in it, and I think the fun part is we've actually been kind of living in it. I mean,
Yeah.
we own retail spaces together. We actually own this office that we're sitting in, so we
Right.
have some experience with some mountain office stuff and
Yeah.
and rents, and you kind of get to know the tenant base. I mean, it's an interesting market. I mean, we just sold and the irony of it is it's really hard for that. I probably said irony too many times, but what's interesting is like it's tough to come in and underwrite from out of town
Yeah.
as a buyer.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have tenants with super high credit quality.
Right.
There's only a few places like Starbucks or, whatever. There's not that many that have like, any real like AAA credit behind
Right. No, you
them.
got to have some faith in some of
So
these
you've
guys,
got a
yeah.
lot of like smaller tenants,
Yeah.
and then so you're underwriting, the probabilities of this person, being successful in business. So I think
Right.
the cap rates are a little bit higher than like maybe a real urban market,
For sure.
And then, as I say that, the flip side of it is that a lot of the market's driven by someone making an emotional buy.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I think we both have watched a lot of people come into the market. A lot of people and this is one thing that I think we focus a lot on is people come in and they get emotionally attached to the idea of buying a investment property in their ski town.
Right.
It sounds cool and
Absolutely. Yeah.
cliche.
And they might even have investment properties elsewhere. They kind of know the gig.
But
yeah.
they come here
Yeah.
and they drop all their underwriting that they would normally do in their other market.
Right, because it's a ski town.
And they're like, and then you're like, so I think you and I have done it, it's been one of our things is to say, hey, don't drop your underwriting.
No.
Like you're coming here and investing real money. It's not that fun to just say you own something here that loses money.
Well, no.
Like be a steward of your capital and make a good investment, and we'll help you find a good idea.
Well, and there are good ideas for sure. I mean, there's
Yeah, it's
definitely
good
some
ideas.
upside. Yeah, it's like
But you just see people come here and you're like, what are you doing? You're like buying something for a 5% cap rate because you go skiing here. Like that's a dumb idea. You would never do that with your money
no
other places.
No. Well, and there's the whole versus the equities markets and liquidity and some other stuff. Like that money's
Yeah.
going to be parked for a while, so use it wisely.
No, I mean, I mean, we've been like, we've told people tons of times not to do things. People are like, why would you do that? Hey, well, try this idea.
Yeah.
I think what's funny about this market though is a lot of times, and I think you've seen this too, like a lot of the best deals are a little bit ugly.
Yeah. There's a little hair on it. There's something funny you got to work out. I mean,
And you just kind of like, but if kind of see the opportunity in it, it's a little ugly to the normal, investor or buyer.
right.
And then, you're like, oh yeah, like this is undervalued.
Right.
I don't exactly know how we're going to play this out, but I
But
can tell you that there's an opportunity here.
Well, I mean, years ago, on Jacob Circle,
Yeah.
big one-off anomalous building, right combination of buyer, guy with some visions, worked out great.
I mean, the reality is there's not a lot of 20,000 square foot users in Steamboat.
No.
Quite frankly, there's not that many 5,000 square foot users.
No, but you can
But-
slice and dice.
Yeah, you can, if you can get it for the right price, you can, carve it up and figure out how to make money.
Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, well, thanks. Always fun to chat. You got a lot of good market insight.
It's interesting because it's fun to do like this kind of a conversation. I mean, we talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Sitting in the office or, with our buddy Shaleski or,
Yeah,
other
we have some
people,
fun clients
that
for
we just
sure.
kind of pontificate on the market. But I mean, we'd like, not only are we like talking about it, pontificating on it, we actually live it. We own retail spaces. We've developed property. Like we're in the middle of the weeds.
Yeah,
So we kind of like know it. And quite frankly, we care about our clients' money and our own money.
absolutely.
You know?
Like you said, I mean, there's the sort of passion and enthusiasm for town, which I would never shut down. I think that's a great place for people to start. But if you can make some rational choices around that, that's even better, and we can definitely help with that.
And one of the things that I think you would, was a topic of conversation was the idea of how does a luxury brand like the agency in the residential world align with commercial?
Yeah, for sure.
And, that's always been a, internal partnership that I think we've had from standpoint of, we have, our clients are the buyers of most of the retail and the investment stuff. They're somehow tied to the residential world, and they are, I mean, we have people that own, private equity firms, hedge funds, REITs, developers, all this kind of stuff. So they're experienced real estate guys that come up here and buy a, great ski property or
Right, and then
family
like you said,
compound,
yeah, start looking
and they
around.
want to go do something else. And it's
Yeah.
really nice to be able to keep it under one roof.
Yeah.
And keep the service at the level that we like to keep it.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's this building, right? This
Yeah.
was a 5-year odyssey. Finally, we helped him get out. But he got it. It was a good 5 years. It worked out well.
yeah, exactly.
And
Anyway,
we got our space. But
well, thanks, Chris.
yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity to chat about this.
Always well. This was our pilot episode. We'll see how it
Yeah,
turns out.
exactly.
But thank you.
And
It's
I didn't
good
even
fun.
use one profane word. It was amazing.
Do you want to use one just so
No,
we can
I think-
cut it in later?
I think we're good.
Okay. You sure?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Thank you very
All right,
much. All right. Cheers.